Hello viewers, today I'm going to do the next episode about this M62 engine, which is going to go in this E36. In the previous video I have done the modification of the oil pump, but I decided to do a totally separate video about the timing chain procedure of this engine, because it's probably going to be helpful for some of you guys. Okay, so here are all the timing components that we're going to use. Yes, we are not going to use OEM ones, we're going to use swag aftermarket timing parts. I'm always recommending OEM ones, but the owner decided that he wants to go with this. Probably it's going to work without any issues, so little by little I'm going to show you what we have inside. Yeah, right now we have some strange oil pan, which is here because the engine is going to go in a chassis which is not intended to, in this case this E36. But this is no matter, the timing procedure doesn't have nothing to do with the oil pan except the timing pin. For this we're going to use the OEM oil pan. So I'm going to remove this after a second, but pretty much everything is removed. All the timing covers and everything, all the chains and so on. The interesting thing that we're going to do is the comparison between this timing tool that I have right now, which some of it is removed, this box here for the camshafts, and yeah, this is the rest of the parts in the tool. We're going to do the comparison because I had some issues when I was removing the chains, but a little bit more about this after a second. Okay, so we're going to start by locking up the crankshaft, in this case flywheel. The crankshaft is locked by the flywheel. So the proper hole which you're going to want to lock it up is this one here, which I have marked with X, and I'm going to rotate one for rotation to show you that there is only one hole that is looking like that. Remember that X mark. On 180 degrees we're going to have something similar but without a hole. So this one, but we don't have a hole here, and after 180 degrees more we're going to see once again that we have this with the X mark. For locking up the crankshaft, in this case you're going to need your oil pan, but because I'm not going to use my OEM oil pan, I decided to cut the original oil pan, so to make the job a little bit easier with this engine, because once again we are not going to use the oil pan, and it's much more easier to install it like that. Originally we have a wall here and it's a little bit on our way. So now it's a little bit easier to install the timing pin here. So, but first of all I'm going to install the bolts here, so this part of the oil pan to be fixed and to not move anywhere. This part of the oil pan is tightened up. This is the timing hole which should aim the timing pin from here. As we can see, once again you're going to have a wall here, so you can install timing pin which is like this, because you're not going to be able to aim nothing else. So you're going to aim it like this, and after that you should place the flywheel somehow that this timing hole aims with the timing pin. So I'm going to need to rotate it like that. So this is the idea, like that the flywheel is locked, and yeah, we have little bit of free movement of the timing pin. It's not so tight up, but I think it's going to work out without any issues. Probably the OEM tool is going to do much better job, but yeah, this is going to work also. And yeah, the biggest suspicion of this tool is this locking, let's call tools for the reluctor wheel of the camshaft sensors. When I was removing the old chain and chain guides and everything, I got suspicious when I locked up the crankshaft and the camshafts. Everything came together as it should be with the original chain. I was able to lock the camshafts and the crankshaft too, as I showed you before a second. But when it came time to see how is the timing on the reluctor wheel of the camshaft sensor, it turns out that these both timing tools for the both cylinder heads were not coming exactly where they should be, these pins especially. They were not going inside the reluctor wheels. There is when I got suspicious. That is why I decided to go with this German Auto Solutions. So I bought these tools from there. I didn't bought the whole kit because I don't see the point of it. So yeah, I bought only these tools, which are going to time properly, hopefully, the camshaft reluctor wheels, because all the other things of this timing tool is work as it should be. This is replacing the tensioner. This is for removing the actuators of the Vanos, but it's not working, it's not deep enough. We're going to remove it with the normal wrench. Yeah, this is once again for the tensioner, and this is the other type of crankshaft locking pin, which I was not going to be able to use if I have a regular oil pen, but it does matter. The other type which we are using is the same thickness. Here I checked them, they are the same. So that's why I decided to buy this German solution tool. I'm going to show you the difference, of course, when we put all the chains together, because I'm pretty sure that this is not going to do a proper timing. The difference is not small, it's going to make a lot of difference and probably going to trigger some camshaft cuts. That's why I decided to go with this. I need to wait it a lot because it's from USA, and it turns out that German Auto Solutions are not sending this to Bulgaria, so I needed to figure out how to take it from there. And yet the customer support was terrible, they didn't answer me nothing. I tried to communicate with them, but it was impossible, so yeah. All the timing components, the main chain, the main tensioner, the 3 timing chain guides, the main of them, the both tensioners for the camshafts, they are different on the right and the left cylinder head. The both chains for the camshafts again, for the both cylinder heads, and here let's don't forget the where it was. Yeah, don't forget the timing chain for the oil pump. So now I'm just going to place the oil pump chain here, because after that I'm not going to be able to, but not going to install the oil pump, because to install the oil pump I'm going to need to install the whole oil pan, the new oil pan, which I cannot do right now because it's going to be on my way for timing up the flywheel, so that's why I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to leave it here to lay down, and when we are done with the whole job of timing up the engine with the new timing chains, then I'm going to install the oil pump together with the oil pan. Just wanted to show you the difference between these two chains. On the left is the chain from X5 E53, and the right chain, yeah, is brand new chain, but is from E38, once again M62. So it turns out that the oil pump chain on the E38 is a little bit longer. This is how long, it's long enough to do the job which we are doing. So for people that are wondering, yeah, the E38 has longer chain on the oil pump and the X5 has shorter one. And we needed to buy the longer one to be able to install our modified oil pump. So for those of you that are wondering why this is needed, just watch our older video of this series. Okay, so before we continue, we're going to need to lock up the camshafts with this timing box. So as you can see, we have E5 to 8, which is for this camshaft. Once again, we have the same letters on the camshaft. As we can see on all the camshafts, we're going to have these letters E5 to 8, E5 to 8. So as all of the BMW engines, E stands for intake and A stands for exhaust. As we can see here, once again, E from, in this case, is from 1 to 4, and on the exhaust one, E from 1 to 4. We need to start with the exhaust one. Now the intake one. The thing that's not cool with this box is that you cannot lock them in place. It's not like on the M52 and 54, on which this box are held with bolts on the ends of them and they cannot go anywhere. These ones are not like this. So I'm going to install the bolts which are holding them together. And still can open up a little bit on the cylinder head, but we're going to check that later state. So I'm going to tighten it up a smidge, like that. And now let's continue with the other cylinder head. Okay, so as I told you, 1 to 4, A for exhaust. Once again, we're going to start with it because the thread is on this side. This one goes pretty straightforward, yes. The intake. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take the bolt to hold them a little bit better. Yeah, as we can see how it's lifting up, because nothing is holding it here, but probably going to figure out some clamp to hold it. As we can see, this is how they should go in all inside the box. Here also, and here. So this is one way to go, but yeah, of course when this engine is in the car, this is going to be impossible to be done. But even if I remove this, so tighten it up a little bit more than needed. The blocks are sitting pretty much flat on the cylinder head, as we can see here and here, and on the other cylinder head it's also sitting flat. So we're just going to need to recheck it if you want to do it like the engine is in the car. Actually here it has just small of opening, but doesn't matter how I rotate the camshafts, still this sits here. I tried to loosen up this bolt, and I guess there is some indentation in the block or something like that, because it goes from here all the way to here. So probably this block has some issue by curvature or something like that, but I think it's not going to cause any issues, so I'm going to leave it like that. Okay, so before installing the gears, we need to determine which tensioner we're going to need to install on which cylinder head, because they are different. So the easier way to figure it out, on cylinder head which is 5/8, let's call it, you're going to need to install the tensioner which is having the oil nozzle for the chain pointing opposite on this oil supply here, and on the cylinder head which is 1/4, which is the right one, the oil nozzle is pointing the same side as the oil supply, as we can see here how it is. This is for 1 to 4. Okay, I'm going to tighten up this tensioner to 15 Newton meters. Now I can install the both gears. So, like so. Now, so they are reverse threads, both of the bolts. Make sure that you have found the chain in the guides here. When you finger tighten it, just going to need to move it just a little bit, so to be sure that it's going to rotate like that. Yeah, we're going to do it like that for a second. Now we're going to do the same on the other cylinder head. Okay, so once again, finger tight, and I'm doing just a smidge just to be able to rotate the both gears like that. Okay, now I'm going to continue with this V-type chain guide. On the back we have two O-rings here and here, which is aiming to where it was here, which is lubricating the chain. Lubricates a little bit. Actually, this is direct fit here, so it's not going anywhere. Like that. There are two types of bolts on this guide. This is the bigger ones. This was M7, I believe. Yeah, this is M7. I'm not 100% sure, but let me check. Am I able to install the timing chain with the guides installed or not? Yeah, actually I was able. So let's continue with the bolts. The other three bolts which are underneath here are M6. Here they are. So once again, two type of bolts. I'm going to need to remove the chain once again, because the last bolt is getting curved a little bit when you tighten it up, and you're going to ruin up the thread because the chain is on the way, so that's why I'm going to remove it once again. Okay, going to do it like that. Now I'm going to be able to install the bolt. The proper way to install it: first the guide, tighten it up, and after that the timing chain. Upper ones going to tighten it up to 15 Newton meters, and the lower one to 10. So once again, we're going to time up the chain. Okay, so now I'm going to continue with this timing chain guide, which is on the left side, driver side. So it has two timing pins, let's call them. So as you can see underneath here, it's going to click inside in its place because it should have a groove. I'm talking about here. Here we don't have any, but here is going to make a sound, but it didn't because it's not OEM. But still it is in place and it's not going anywhere. So to be able to remove once again this timing chain guide, you're going to need to lift up this tooth here, and then you're going to be able to remove it. But right now it's impossible if you don't break it, of course. This guide is held only with this bolt here, which is M6, which means we're going to torque it down to 10 Newton meters. No more than this, it should be enough. This is just for fixing it in place. It's not going anywhere for sure because of these two guides here. Okay, 10 Newton meters. For the final timing chain guide, which is going to be tensioned from here, from the main tensioner, I'm going to put once again assembly loop on the O-ring, and I'm going to need to aim it to the hole of this V-type of chain guide. Just going to need to aim it like that. And this is the bolt for it, which I cannot find torque spec for this bolt, but this bolt is 8.8 grade, and if we believe the charts, if the bolt is dry, like I have degreased the bolt, I should torque down this bolt to 40 Newton meters. And if it's looped, it should be 32 Newton meters. Okay, 40. So now I'm going to take a zip tie and going to hold the both timing chain guides like this. I'm going to tighten it as much as I can with the zip tie, so to remove all the slack of the chain, like that. Okay, now I'm going to install this block here, which is going to aim the tool for tensioning additionally the chain, because right now we cannot install the tensioner, main tensioner, which should be installed originally, because we don't have the timing covers and the tensioner is installed on the timing covers. So I'm using just some normal M6 bolts, like that. So from the manual, they're stating that we need to tighten up this bolt here for the tensioner, let's call it, manual tensioner, to 0.7 Newton meters, which is almost nothing, but pretty much, I know how much it's supposed to be, but let's say when you try to tighten it up as much as possible finger tight, you're going to stop. So this is the maximum that I can do. So I'm just going to do a marking. I'm going to do, let's see, probably 2 more revolutions. So this is 1, and this is 2. So this should be roughly 1 Newton meter or 0.7, let's call it. It's not the end of the world if you don't make it just right. This is not going to cause so big of an issue of timing wise. Okay, now I think it's the time to remove the grenade pins from the tensioners on the cylinder heads. Like that. Actually, on these tensioners you can replace only the guides, the plastic guides, but you're always going to have some kind of wear on the piston and the wall of the piston. So that's why I prefer to replace the whole tensioner, and aftermarket wise it's not so expensive. OEM wise it's expensive. So yeah, the both tensioners are unlocked. So now we're going to take the multimeter and we're going to search for pronounced sound from here. Pretty much the idea is to place the Vanos as much as possible anti-clockwise, which means to the left. But let's use the multimeter to show you what I mean. Okay, I had some struggle with these Vanos units because from the manual it states that when you go to the full left position, anti-clockwise position, we should hear acoustic coming out from the multimeter. But it was not so easy because this is old Vanos units, and let me show you. So from the manual BMW states to use a torque wrench, and yeah, there is a special socket in the timing tool which I showed you in the beginning, which looks like that. You need to be sure that your torque wrench can work on the opposite side. In our case I have connected, okay, I'm going to transfer this on this side, but it does matter actually. If it goes on this or on the other side, it does matter. So when we go to the full left position, we should hear acoustic coming out from the multimeter, which is going to indicate that we don't have any oil residue in the Vanos unit. I'm sure of it because I'm hearing only air coming out from it when I go right and left, but still I'm going to show you. So 40 Newton meters, as we can hear, but it stops. Doesn't matter, this is still good. But if we go on the other, let's say here, because we have 3 pins on every unit, as we can hear, we don't have any noise. And yeah, I have tried harder, more than 40 Newton meters, and still no acoustic coming from here or on the other pin. Let's show you on the other side. So once again I'm going to connect to the bottom one, and here now the acoustic stays. But if we go on the other pins, none here and none here. So yeah, one pin is enough for sure. I'm sure that this is the most retarded position of both of the Vanos units, and we are okay to tighten up these bolts like that. Yeah, sometimes not so easy. I need to play a little bit backward and forward with them so to make the acoustic come. Yeah, this is what BMW is using for reference. You're going to want to place the socket, use 40 Newton meters to the left, anti-clockwise rotation. This should remove all the oil residue inside the Vanos unit, and after that you're going to be able to tighten up your bolts here. So after retarding the both Vanos units, we need to check that our alignment on the camshaft box are right. In our case they are flat on the cylinder heads, as the timing pin on the crankshaft is still in position. And now I'm going to tighten up these 2 bolts. Once again they are reverse thread, and after that these 2. This bolt should be torqued to 110 Newton meters, and I'm using T55 torque speed. So I'm just going to hold it a little bit with the wrench so to be sure that the camshaft is not going to move from place. Okay, so I'm going to torque the other one. So after tightening up all the main 4 bolts for the camshafts, of course you're going to want to recheck your timing box from the back. Are they still flat with the cylinder head? As we can see here and here, they are flat. So yeah, everything seems fine. Now the only thing that it left is to install the reluctor wheels for the camshafts. For this, in our case, we're going to need to remove the solenoids for the Vanos, because the two that I bought should be installed on these turrets. So I'm going to take some wrench and going to remove them, and we're going to compare the both tools. So the both reluctor wheels, I have marked them, but they are the same, the part numbers are the same. As you can see, if we place them like that, they match perfectly. So doesn't matter how you're going to install them. So they go like that. Once again, the nut is reverse thread, like all the bolts on the front. I'm going to install them like that, that we can rotate them like that. Okay, so the both reluctor wheel timing tools are installed, and I just want to show you how bad they are, especially this one. So it cannot even go in the hole. So this is how far away we are. Doesn't matter how I rotate the reluctor wheel, I cannot aim it because the pin is a little bit too further to the center of the nut, let's call it. It needs to be a little bit further out. Still, I align it to look close enough to see how it's going to match with the German out solution tool. Here at least I managed to install it in the hole. As we can see there, it is installed in the hole. I have tightened up the nuts, the both nuts for the reluctor wheels. Now I'm going to remove the reluctor wheel timing tools, the Chinese ones, and I'm going to install the German auto solution, and we're going to compare the results. Okay, so the both reluctor wheel tools are installed, and just to show you how bad it is here especially. This is how far away we are from the spot which we were with the other reluctor wheel tool. So this is not small amount of difference, this is several degrees. And actually on the one that looked worse is a little bit closer. So hopefully you guys are seeing, we are almost in the hole. Maybe halfway, but still not there. But still we are not even a smidge close with the pin there. So yeah, for sure I'm going to use this reluctor wheel locking plates, so to aim the both reluctor wheel camshaft plates in position, and after that we're going to tighten up these nuts to 40 Newton meters. So I'm going to undo these nuts and going to redo them. Okay, so the both reluctor wheels are placed as they should be, and now I'm going to torque the nuts to 40 Newton meters. Okay, now I should be able to remove them, because right now the nuts have tension up a little bit the tool. I'm going to move it a little bit. Like that. Going to do the same on the other side. So now pretty much I'm going to do 2 revolutions, and we're going to recheck the timing. Yeah, I'm going to remove the crankshaft pin, going to remove this locking box from the back, and we're going to exit everything as it should be. Let's give it a try. Okay, I'm going to watch for the crankshaft pin now. So when rotating the engine and start walking up everything, I have walked up the crankshaft now and the left cylinder head, but as we can see on the right one, the inlet camshaft is moved a little bit, not a little bit, a lot. This is because of the Vanos. So you're going to need to retard it, so to be able to install the walking tool. By that I mean like this, until it stops, and as we can see it has something like a tension on it, like a spring, sorry. So this is normal to happen. You're going to need to place it like that, so to be able to install the walking tool. Don't get panicked, this is normal to go like this. So I'm going to place it like that and going to try to install the walking block from behind. Okay, so just to show you the rear box, as we can see they are flat as this one. The crankshaft walking pin from here, and for the reluctor wheels, let me show you how they go in. So this one, it gets a real snug inside, but it is feeling really nice and snug. This one also. Oops. I need to aim it all together to make it go in. Okay, like that. And yes, feels snug. So pretty much the rotor wheels, the camshaft, the crankshaft is timed, and yeah, I have done several rotations to see is everything okay, everything seems fine. The only thing that's left is to install the timing covers, but before that I'm going to need to install the oil pan with the oil pump, but this is not related to this video because it's like that because it's going to go in E36, so that's why it's like that. In your case you're not going to need to do this. But yeah, you're going to need to install the timing chain covers, and after that install the real tensioner from here. But pretty much this is all about the timing procedure. Now I'm going to remove everything. The reluctor wheel timing tool is going to reinstall the solenoids for the Vanos. Just going to clean it a little bit while they are out with some brake cleaner. Something that I forget to say, don't remove your zip tie until you have installed the timing chain cover and the original tensioner. You need to leave it here until then. I have removed the tool as we can see, but I haven't cut it. So install the timing chain cover, the tensioner, and then cut it. And yeah, it's a good idea to lubricate the chain. I'm not going to do it right now because I'm going to install the oil pan, and we're going to install it only with silicone. So as we know, oil and the silicone doesn't work together very well. So I'm first going to install the oil pan, and after that going to lubricate the chain. Okay guys, this was all about the timing procedure of this M62. Once again, I'm not going to film the rest of the procedure because it's totally different on your car, because in this case it's going to go in E36, so the oil pan is different, the oil pump is different, timing chain covers are going to be identical. Actually we have decided to go from oil cooled alternator to air cooled alternator. We just took a timing chain cover from a M62 without a water cooled alternator, and we're going to fit it on this engine. Yes, we're going to need the alternator also, but this is something that we really wanted to do, but I'm going to show this in the next video, how everything fits without any issues, hopefully. But yeah, pretty much I'm going to end up the video here. I just want to show you the timing procedure and the difference in the two. If you install the Chinese tool for the reluctor wheel, you're probably going to have some camshaft coats after that, probably. I'm pretty sure that you're going to have them because the difference was pretty obvious, especially on the right cylinder head. If you want to do it right, you're going to need to buy this German auto solution tool. Actually, in my city, no one had the proper tool for this engine. I have asked everywhere, and that's why I have decided to buy it from USA and needed to wait for it. And this is the tool which has this issue. Actually, I'm pretty sure that all of the Chinese tools going to have this issue. They just copy from some tool, I guess, but this is Satra. Yeah, it doesn't matter which one you're going to buy except the OEM one. You're going to have this issue. So you're going to need Chinese tool plus this German auto solution, or the whole kit from German auto solution, but it's kind of expensive. So yeah, pretty much this is it. Thank you for watching, guys, and see you in the next video.